Awesome, we are live.
Welcome back. For those watching this on Twitch, hello. For those watching this on YouTube, you're probably annoyed. There's probably a lot of intro and outro stuff, but welcome everybody. We're stoked to be here.
Yeah, it's gonna be a great time for more Ruby things.
Mm-hmm.
We have supply stacks, if I remember correctly, and working on doing crate stuff. I do think it's worth
And we
mentioning.
got pumpkin spice lattes
Oh
that I
man,
made.
it might be better, but I still have pumpkin spice lattes. Not good. I just have regular coffee.
That's okay.
I will want to say we're going to be on a panel this week, hosted by yours
Yeah.
truly, right? You.
Yeah. And that doesn't really mean much, but we're gonna be there Wednesday. It's gonna be sick.
Is it
We're gonna be talking
LinkedIn
about what does
and
it
YouTube?
mean. Yeah. So Industrial Logic is hosting a couple live events, live chats the next 2 weeks. First session is the one that we'll be a part of. Day in the life of an Industrial Logic developer. We got a panel of great participants, yeah, including us, but four other great, brilliant people that we work with. And it's going to be awesome. And I think there's going to be a lot of cool things that kind of come out of just us chatting about our day. So come attend that. It'll be really cool.
Yeah, for sure. All right, you ready to jump into it?
Yeah, let's jump back in.
All right, quick look at the discovery tree. Looks like we were in our middle of trying to read multiple stacks of multiple lengths.
Yes, we were still reading input because reading input is sometimes very challenging, especially when it's this weird structured thing. Um,
Thinking about this, like we decided to do outside in just as a difference from our last problem we solved. But looking back, like I think this was the right choice, right? I think this reading the input is probably the heart of the problem, right? It's the riskiest thing. Like if we don't get that done, we can't really do anything else. And so thinking of it from like a risk perspective, or like if we had something to do or figure out, like this feels like the thing we want to tackle first. Um,
if the constraint was we 110% needed to have the data in this format given to us, then yes, completely correct. If that constraint was actually not there, and maybe was suggested, that's maybe where I would be more inclined to maybe go inside out, and then we could maybe figure out is there a better way to maybe label the data? Um, Maybe like a structured style of data, maybe something like a JSON or YAML, uh, or XML. No, I would never suggest that.
you
But
suggested YAML at this
XML
point.
parsing might. I did suggest YAML, and someone should come over to my house and hit me. But uh, I will say all three of those are better than reading a string. But it's okay. It's fun. It's fun.
Yeah, I have
And yeah,
no experience with Advent of Code other than what we've done. Is everything in Advent of Code like string input that you've done?
yeah, I would say so. To keep it pretty easy, there is no. I don't think I've ever gotten like a JSON file. It's usually like, hey, here's some string input, or here is a giant number and do something with it. Like it depends on what the problem is. But yeah, I've done Advent Code a couple times, and it seems to always be some kind of string input thing.
There's some feedback for the Advent of Code people. Give us a real data structure. It'd be like a real programming, like real world
Yeah,
life scenario.
make the input JPEGs. We'll have to read the JPEG into a bitmap, and then don't do that. Let's get into it.
All right, popping over to RubyMine. We've run the tests this morning. We have
Yeah.
one ignored test. We can thank ourselves from 2 weeks ago. It's like we were
Yeah.
trying to write a test to say we create three stacks with one of them being in the middle. So you have this Nice B in the middle here.
Mm-hmm. But guess what? If you want to skip that test, where's that B gonna be?
I think it goes into the
Not,
first one.
not in the middle. It wasn't the first one because we were just doing a very simple search and replace on this string, and that's not gonna work because there is contextual meaning as per where the thingy is.
Yes.
Okay. So 2 weeks ago, I was like, this is gonna be a pain. Right now, though, I'm like, I know a dumb way we could do it. I don't like it, but I think it would work and we could move on to another part of the problem. And the what I'm talking about is um can you or at the top of this file, don't we have like the full input thing?
Yeah.
Good. Okay. The reason why I asked this is because that space is very important. So if we notice, we've already calculated the number of lines, crate lines. We've already like on the in our production code, we've already calculated how many crate lines because we're reading that one line that says 1, 2, 3.
Mhm.
Um Now once we know that, we could just count characters and know exactly where the number's supposed to be. Um no guess this time, but we will. Yeah, we are hoping to get some guests kind of moving forward. I think it might be just like every other one or something like that. I think we're kind of figuring that out. But welcome to the stream. Um, but yeah, what do we think about that? So like we could literally count characters. Um, so yeah, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah, 'cause I mean, it looks like it's three characters for a crate with a space.
and we could get rid of the space too. So it could literally just be 3 characters. Or actually getting rid of the spaces blows everything up. No, you're right. So it's 4 characters between each element.
Mhm.
Um, Yeah, so that would be one way that I think we could do it, and make it a little bit easier. Um, yeah, I mean, going from like getting one crate all at once would be another way we could think about it, but we'd have to have a running like index, and I think that's gonna put me back into like
We
data
started,
structures and algorithms in college, and my brain will hurt.
yeah, we
Um,
started that, and we switched to this like horizontal approach. I kind of like the for method because like you literally can just we could write just a for loop for the length of the line, right? And every 4 characters we snap it, and then we'd have to trim the brackets and capture it and put it somewhere. And
yeah, and if we look like line 12, we could see how it says crate and index in our
line
production code,
12.
sorry.
Okay, yeah, you're good.
Um, Yeah, because if we think about how like what we already have to and how we could iterate to this, we're already getting each crate for line. We could do the dumb thing and just have it return, basically there's no crates like undefined or null or something. Um and then basically only push when we actually have a real character. So then we kind of keep the same structure and all we're doing is changing the implementation of strip crate line. Um And yes, we are planning on making a stack data structure. To get to the stack data structure, though, we need to read this crazy file, and that's what we're currently working on. And then we're probably going to move towards having a stack domain style structure um, that gets rid of the brackets and just has the characters because that's all that really matters. But so yeah, I mean that does that seem like a reasonable thing we could try?
Yeah, I think it does.
Okay. Then I think this is strip crate line would really be it because we're just going to take the whole line then and just
We delete
um
all of the brackets and we split it on space.
yeah,
We
that's what we
could
were doing.
theoretic. We could. Okay.
Actually, if we deleted all the brackets, wouldn't it just be like n space c space p?
Yes.
Oh, that's way easier. Okay, delete all the still delete all the brackets. And we don't want to split on space though, because space is how we know where it comes from. So I think deleting the brackets is nice. Now we have a string that is literally A space P space. And all we do is for so we need to know the number of crates. Which we do know. What is that? It's like crate lines or something like that. Crate lines, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's call crate lines to get that. We're gonna need to do something with that.
Here.
And we just call it again. That's fine.
I hit W. That's fun. W is my closed window.
That's okay. Okay, so that gives us the number of the lines. And now what we can do, so can we set that equal to something? I know we can eventually chain it all back together, but set row.delete, because delete is, I don't know if that's
Uh,
actually mutating the row.
I would believe it is.
Let's still do that. Let's just be safe for just because this is pretty complicated. And then we'll refactor it once we're done.
Yeah.
So now we take this non-bracket line. Oh, nope. Non-bracket
Uh,
line is 100% a void thingy. So, okay. No, it is
no,
mutating row.
it's a void thingy? What do you mean it's a void thingy? To me, it says no, it can't do index of this because we're no longer doing the split, and the split's giving us the array above.
You're right.
So
But at
this,
least we got feedback that, yeah, it's totally just doing the ZMP. So now, can we do um, a for loop based on the number of, wait, isn't this the same thing we tried doing last week? Last time we couldn't do. We want to basically iterate how many crate lines we do. We keep a running index of the string and then just add 2 every time we increment.
we add 2 every time we increment. What do you mean we add 2?
Because there's a space in there. So here, scroll down and now try to just can you just like do 4 and just see what the code bit thing is? It's like, is there just like a normal for loop?
There's 4 in.
Yeah, and we don't want 4 in.
Here you go. We'll
For
switch over
loop. Yeah, go for it real quick.
for loop Ruby. Geeks for geeks. Website. Wow, I clicked the condition to go to the for loop section and it did not do it. Oh, log in to continue. There you go. That's a for in loop, so it's just a for.
Yeah, there we go. Let's do that. That's kind of what I just saw too. I also found another cool way you can kind of do it. That's why I like Ruby. But yeah, let's do that. So for a in, so it'd be what, 0? I think we'd want 0 to dot dot number of lines
Number of lines gives us
-1.
And just for clarity, see if I can actually do that.
Okay. Just run that, honestly. I know it'll fail everything else, but at least we'll get some feedback. And can we just run the one test we're running?
Just with 2 in the middle. Here we go. And again, this is going to no implicit integer into array.
So still return something at the end just so it shuts up, maybe.
Oh yeah, the non-bracket line.
There we go.
I just split on the space again so that it's at least.
Yeah. So it just shuts up. Yeah, I'm fine with it. So okay, cool. So it wasn't that actually. It's has to do with maybe get rid of the -1 for now. See if that does something.
Oh, crate lines isn't the length. You're getting slices, right? You're splitting it and then you're slicing the last one off. So this is a dot length. Here you go. 0, 1, 0, 1.
1, 0, 1. Why would it be 0, 1, 0, 1?
Because there's 2 lines. And then so the index
Oh,
is A,
yeah.
and
Okay.
A is the
Thank you.
index. So there's 2 lines.
And in our test, in this test itself, can you click on the failing test so we can just see it? Keep that in frame.
Yeah, it's yeah.
Yeah, but this one there's three. So okay, so the -1 is wrong then. So can we get rid of the -1? Please and thank you. In the for loop. Because it should be 0, 1, 2. There we go.
Yeah, 0, 1, 2,
Perfect.
0, 1,
Okay.
2, 1, 2.
So now can you make let's make an array above. That's just gonna let's call it result. Or crate line. How
So
about that? That's literally what we call it. Yeah, so crate line and just make it an empty array.
I feel like we're trying to change what this is doing above it.
I'm actually not. Well, sort of. It's kind of like put in undefined, and then we'll go back up there and do it. So this was
Okay.
my idea. Was
You
we
want an
create
empty
an
array?
array, and then we push in. If it's empty string, we pass in nil, and if it's not, we pass in the actual number, and then above it just filters out the nils. And then it'll work, and then we can refactor and figure out what we actually like. But so it would be foo.push.
Get rid of that now.
Yep, foo.push. And then the element would be
So from that
um
non-bracket line, right?
non-bracket line, yep, index a times 2. So you do the brackets because we're accessing it like I'm assuming you can do it with the string. Yes, a times 2. And it's a times 2. So 0 will be the 0th index, which is correct. Then it'll be the second index, which is correct because this is accounting for the spaces. Um, and then the second line will be 4 spaces. I mean, let's just see what the code says.
So that's fine, but I kind of want to
And
do at the end of this, puts food to see what we get.
yeah. I mean, you could return
So we get B, X, Y, Z.
yeah, which is correct.
Gotcha. As an
It's just not telling
array.
you what index things are in.
Yeah, so we lose that. So theoretically, we want to do the nil thing so it's filled out.
Well, that's the thing.
And
Wouldn't it put in, like, what does it put in when non-bracket line a times 2 is an empty space? I feel like, or maybe it's just empty space that we're going to filter out above.
probably there, yeah, those are empty
Yeah.
spaces.
So can you put foo, not, sorry, not puts foo is now making this funny. Can you return foo at the end of this function? So get rid of the non-bracket line space and we'll just see what happens.
We got
Yeah, see,
space
there's empty
X,
lines.
X, Y, and
Perfect.
then BZ.
Which is what we want. No, actually, it's the one in the middle, which is funny.
Well, yeah, but that's because we had two spaces in the first line, right? So it has these two spaces pushed on it. And then theoretically it would have a third one.
Yeah. So actually, that's surprising me because I thought it would at least have B in the middle, and then we would just get rid of the empty spaces and call it move on. So what's wrong with it? Is it the input's correct on 45, right? Yeah, it would be because it's 4 spaces.
Yes. 1, 2, 3, 4.
So yeah, it's interesting that the B is going with the Z at the end, unless there's the A times 2 is incorrect.
No, it makes sense.
Yeah. Because then foo would be. Yes, I don't know why B's going on the end there.
Mm.
Can we yeah. Yeah, really that makes total sense. Why wouldn't that work? Can you just to make sure my brain's not broken, or actually I can take it. Let's put the non-bracket line here for 1 second.
Yeah.
And then we'll just put Um, I'm getting. Is it just plus then? I imagine
You can, yeah. That's an
non-bracket
easy way to
line
do it.
A. I just wanted to see what that does. So one,
That's our
two,
bracket line. Yeah.
getting nothing, getting nothing, getting B. Yeah, that seems very wrong.
Yeah, it should say getting nothing, getting B, getting nothing, right?
Yeah, but notice B is also at the end.
Did it trim? Or do we? Oh, we don't have any spaces after that. Is that? Do we need to add four
One,
spaces
two,
after?
three, four, five, or something. No, that doesn't do anything. Hmm.
It actually removed those spaces too.
It's weird that it's prefixing it with yeah, four. Oh, I know why.
It's
And
getting
this
rid of
actually won't
that.
work now. It's because we're removing the brackets. We can't remove the brackets because this is equivalent to removing the brackets, but there's four spaces. That's the issue. We made an assumption there's always brackets, so there isn't. So I think we have to do the same logic, but without the brackets deletion. Which I think would be just multiplied by. Sorry.
We don't want to do that, and we want to say row here.
Yep. Yeah, we literally can't mutate row. That's funny. That's okay.
We have B. We get blank, blank. We get bracket. So I think if we getting blank, blank, bracket.
But it's not. It's
Because
actually
the number of lines isn't there. We just need to
and it's
iterate over
actually a
the
little different
characters of the.
too.
Don't we just need to iterate over the characters? Like of the string? Can't we just do a like turn it into a now I hate to say this, but like a null terminated character array or something. Something fancy like that.
Well, I think all we're this is just another like if we want to just keep the index math, it's two times like two times something. Because notice or sorry, plus
Not
two. Because the first one's on the second index. So if we look at line 37 in the test case right there, it's two, and then it's one, two, three, four. So can you do instead of a times two, can you do a times four plus two?
a times 4 plus 2.
Yeah.
Or dollar sign.
Is that incorrect? Let me think about that for a second.
We
So
get
we
the
do
we're one off now, right? We got an ending bracket, so we're one off.
okay.
And then it looks like we also we run out of on the second row.
So I'm just looking at 46 for a second. So if we were
Oh,
to
works for B. But then we get nil into string, which tells me we're past the array.
so is there a test we have where we just have one row? Can we start off with maybe that and then we can come back to this fancy in the middle? Because I think if we can get that logic to work, it should be the same. So smaller input right there. Yeah. Let's run that one. Just run this test.
ZM no P. And we got bracket bracket.
Getting
This is funny, we get Z and M.
oh, it's because you changed the puts, but you didn't change the push.
This is why duplication is bad.
Yeah. Crate.
All right, so we get Z and we get M, but we don't get P because our number of lines, we don't care about number of lines, we care about number of crates. How do we get number of
Crate line.
crates?
I thought we got number of crates.
Not based on number of lines because our lines are horizontal now.
No, but I thought we read. Can you scroll down to crate lines again? Yeah, crate lines is the line. And then we just counted how many
How many lines there are, but not how many crates, right? We have 2 lines here, but 3 rows of crates because we're getting the
no, if we
horizontal lines.
I think crate lines is a bad name, and this is again because uh but crate lines, we're splitting the line by new line and getting the last one. So that's getting us
No,
one,
we're
two, three.
slicing the last one off. Nope, 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 nope. We're
Oh,
slicing the
sorry.
last one off.
Okay. Didn't we write
Premium.
something that read the last line or no?
Yeah, this is the last line. And then we split on spaces, and then we map on all of those to create our interior.
Oh, that's what it is. Okay, can we maybe let's extract that as a method.
This get last
Everything
line.
but the well, even with the split space, because that's kind of what we want, right? Because then we can do that length on it. We don't have to. I mean, we can
I'm gonna duplicate
do
first,
it
but I agree
whatever
that
makes
this is
sense.
wrong.
Yeah.
So instead of number of lines, we want last row dot split is going to return her. Yeah, it returns.
Dot
I'm running
length.
out of
Yeah.
sorry.
So number of lines is equal to that dot length. Yep. Okay. Now I'm sorry. I thought that's what we were doing the whole time with the other one.
Then you go
Yay!
DMP, but no implicit type of conversion.
Okay.
So we're still running out here, but this is a in Ruby supply stacks 40 with the plus.
Oh, it's mad about this. Just delete 40. Delete the puts. That's why it's mad. I run again.
No method push for nil class. So that has to be right here.
Because
So
crate could
theoretically,
be nil.
I believe so. DMP and maybe a nil here. How about create that length? No.
Crate's the element.
Yep.
You could do integer, the index.
Yeah.
And then you can see how many elements do we actually store in there. 4, which is wrong.
So we can at this point strip out the nils.
So actually, it's interesting. Can you print out what number of lines is? Because number of lines is wrong. Then is it off by 1?
Oh, number of lines should only
Like
be 1.
back in the function we were in, um, and I think it's just the variables. 3. 0 to 3 is that going to be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4?
No, yeah, it's 0 to 3, right? And we only have 1, 2, 3. So I actually think your
So
minus
minus
1
1.
comes back.
Yep.
Your minus 1 comes back.
Ha ha ha
3.
ha ha
Yeah,
ha.
look
Okay,
at happens.
can we run all the tests real quick? I know because we've just done a lot of bad things. Okay.
Now we don't like the special length code, which the one is the starting one and the
Yeah. So now
I'm
if
gonna clean
you
up a little bit.
yes, let's clean up just a tiny bit, just so we can understand what the heck is going on. Um so it should be now, if we go back up to that for loop above.
Great line. I know, I actually thought of a name.
Yeah, that's good. Can we now go up to the where it's strip crate lines being used again? And let's just do a if just a if check around stat. Like if it's null, don't put anything there. So if
Uh,
unless nil, oh yeah, there we go. Crate is nil. Yeah, there we go. Run that.
Hit it past 1.
That's good. Okay, and now the last thing I do want to validate with this second test is that the input is actually correct.
You want to validate that the input is correct. So looking at this, we have 3. Our crate line becomes B. then our XYZ, and we
Yeah.
get that. Hey, look at that. And then we have an empty one.
What I mean is here.
No, look, 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 look.
Unless nil or empty string with a space. It looks like. All right. Let's get rid of all the puts, and then I think that's a commit.
But I like the puts. But we'll do the Ruby thing.
Yeah, yeah. All right.
This
Now let's
is this
commit
is
before we
actually
do any
syntax
other
I'm used
changes.
to. Yeah, this is actually. Well, I have pants. Can we rename pants? What is pants?
No, no, leave pants. This was a big commit. I think we've fundamentally
Can we just?
changed a bunch of things.
It was only used once. We extracted it because it was double use. I'm just inlining it.
Okay. Okay, that's fine.
Da, da, da. Cool. Yes, I agree. Big commit. Get add dot. Get check it dash n. What do we do? Handle change
Yep.
line parsing to the index place.
Yep. To allow uneven sized crates
Stacks, uneven size
or
stacks.
stacks. Yep, you're right. Sorry. Crates are the thing inside, stacks are the thing in there.
Yes.
All right, cool. So yeah, that worked pretty well. I don't love it, but the times 4+1 is some crazy nonsense. But again, it's at the boundary of our system. We're parsing input. Input's crazy. I think that's pretty. We've encapsulated it at least in this function. So
Yeah. So we have some small duplication here. Is this worth a extract method?
yeah, I think it is. One thing I'd ask though is, or one thing I'd question is, like, there's actually even more duplication in here if we consider like if we rewrite this map statement similar to the one on 37. See how we have the 0? Can we do that? Like change the map line? Because then there'd even be more duplication, and then we can extract all of that. So like after the split, let's assign that to a variable called number of lines, just to make it the same, and then do length.
Oh man, this whole these snake case, man. So
And
so
that
we're
would be what?
saying
Up too far up.
too far up. Thank you.
Yeah, you're good. And then
Number
it was
lines.
just we're doing a map.
Doing a map here instead of an each.
Yeah, because that's what's happening on 28. Yeah, a map. Yep. It's because you're
This
returning
creates
number of
yeah,
lines.
and this creates a that and creates this.
No, it's just delete 28 and it'll all work. Or not.
Because yeah, we have an iteration here. We have to do an each at this point. We can't do a map.
Oh, you can't do that's dumb.
No, maybe
But
you
okay.
can. But implicit integer into array. This is just an
That is
integer
what
of
it's
a
trying to
range,
do.
right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Never mind then.
Create.
Then yeah, let's undo. We can change it the other way. I was just saying if we could make that iteration the same, then yeah, it would have been easier, but that's okay. So we can extract that. Because it's really not number of lines. It's an array of the number of lines. And then you call length on it. You know, and it's kind of a weird name.
So we could. What
And
did you
actually, can you
think
rename that
about?
to or yeah, go
We
ahead, sorry.
we could do like this, and this just gives us a property on the class then, and we could like run it once in the very beginning, like this. We could do something like that.
Yeah, I think the weird part about that is then like if it's uninitialized on class creation, then who's
But we could, right?
let's
I mean, we
yeah, we could.
okay. So I have number of lines, which is not a good name. Where did it go?
You undid it, which is fine.
I did undo
Extract
all
it
of it.
again
Right?
and call it or what? Sorry.
Yeah, I didn't think I undid it at all. Sorry.
Instead of number of lines, this is number of stacks. So the number of lines is what tripped us up earlier.
Ooh, how about this really is the line of number of stacks, right?
Yeah.
It's the
Yeah. That's, yeah, I like that.
and then all we care about is that.
Yep. And now we can remove the duplication, which is nice.
The number of lines becomes this dot length. And that goes away. Do I need that? I don't think I need that. Yeah, it's complaining on me.
Nope.
And kind of want to just one liner that.
I think that's good. And then I actually I would suggest one more thing as well. If yeah, that's nice. Could I suggest one more refactor that's very tiny? And it's not because of duplication, but it's just because of like responsibility. So we're still doing a dot length here. Could we still have number of stacks be a method and have it do that, and then this function just calls number of stacks? And now you could just inline number of lines. Yeah, look at that. That's a lot better.
I was highlighting,
And then
selected it on. I was like, RubyMind's trying to tell me something, but totally not.
cool. This looks good. I think this isn't as crazy anymore. The times 4 plus 1 is nuts, but that's yeah, been there, done that. I think it's fine. Again, it's encapsulated. We're doing character counting, and that's literally what that math there is for.
Refactor for readability. So I think the last test then is to have the third element. Do we want to
Yeah.
make
Yeah,
sure we're
here.
there? Yeah, I've done so many typing, so
I know. I was gonna say, let me, because this should just pass. We're assuming, so I'm going to just write it. Create student 1 of length 2 in at the end.
I think
So
just add 4 spaces, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, just add.
Okay. This is the line. There we go. That's too hard otherwise. And we're expecting the B now to live over here.
Hey, good.
That passes.
I'm glad it passes, right? We wanted to at least gives us one more case to validate.
Add test for last stack having one more element. And
could we do 2 more pinning tests?
sure. I don't know why I just get pulled. That is habit. Yeah, what other pinning tests? I don't mind driving again.
I would like to do one pinning test where we have a stack of 4 to make sure we can handle more than 3, because I think you said our test input is 9 stacks. And all we've done is test 3, so we just want to make sure that we have something more than 3 is working as expected and nothing weird happens.
Yeah, here. Let's do 4. So doop.
No. I want a 4th column. I want a 4th stack.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
And do you want the 4th to be?
It does. Well, yeah. Just put anything in the 4th. Honestly, it could be a single stack. Yeah, and then.
Okay, I think that does mean I have to bring this line up here.
Yep. And I think there's 2 spaces between the 2 and the 3, so you want 2 spaces between the 3 and the 4, or you might want to count how many spaces there are between 2 and 3. There you go. I think that's right now.
That looks about right. Create 4 stack. I'm just gonna do this. Stacks.
Yep. Create 4 stacks.
We expect
Z and A.
That's what I put.
Cool. Yep. And then the other one I want is I think there's a 1. Do we have a 1 test? Like it's literally just 1 stack, 1 element?
I thought that's what we started off with, but maybe not. Nope.
I think we deleted that because that's when you were going vertical. I think we deleted them because that's when you were doing
no. Create 1 stack of length 1. Here we go.
Nice. Cool. Okay.
I think that was our first test, and it's kind of funny because it ended up at the bottom. I'm actually going to put that as the first test in the code. That to me seems like the simplest case. I usually like looking at the simplest case first. If you're cool with that.
No, yeah, it's great. And
Um,
obviously, we missed it because it wasn't there. So
well, as like tests are sort of a form of, well, not a sort. They totally are a form of duplicate or documentation. I like having the simplest case first, so you kind of ease the reader into what is it that this thing's doing under the hood, or what is the behavior that it's doing.
yeah,
Okay, so backfill test for length for of stacks.
yeah. This just gives me a little more confident because again, I think you looked at the test and put like, there's 9, and I'm like, okay, I don't think anything weird's gonna happen with more than 3, but just to double check.
Yeah, cool. So we did all this parsing crap, and at this point now we've created very primitive lists. I think we're good with this part. Do we want to maybe visit the discovery tree and see?
So
Yeah, what's the next branch in the flow we want? And I think that was
I'm gonna
probably the
say
hardest
there's
part of the problem, to be honest.
We're gonna call that one green. So again, green means done. So we've organized create stacks. So we could continue in this if we wanted to, again, if we wanted to refactor and start getting rid of primitive obsession around lists and arrays and things. And then I think our next branch is that organize rearrangements, or what we call rearrangements is the move one from two to one string. This is semi-complicated because now with our logic of how we get the 1, 2, 3 line, it's not the last line anymore. So when we add these on, this will change how we get 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, I mean, we could just look for the number one. The first line that has the first character one is it. But yes, it is. We're. I would suggest this. So like, if we want to continue outside in, I don't think. Like, I think getting rid of primitive obsession is not a bad idea, but we're technically not doing anything with the array yet. It's just living there. So I don't. If I'm looking from an outside in point of view, I don't see a reason why we'd want to add our own thing around that yet.
Yeah.
If we wanted to go inside out, which again is where my brain usually wants to go, that's where we'd be like, well, yeah, we want to move. We know there's a move method, and but I like the idea of us keeping this outside in. So maybe we should parse the rearrangement logic, and then if we try to, we can try to implement one, and then be like, wow, this is hard, and then we can break the problem up into maybe an inside out approach.
Mhm.
So why don't we just rename that organize crate stacks? Why don't we just let's call that I'm gonna just rename this to parse
Stacks crates, parse stacks and crates.
stacks plus crates.
I
Yeah,
think parse instructions.
yes.
I like rearrangements, but instructions is probably more clear.
Yes. Okay. And now this is totally good then.
I know I
we
call it
can
rearrangement. We have that as a domain word, and I'm sure they called it a rearrangement in the problem state.
But yeah, I'd be
Okay.
down to now do parse instructions, which will make things more challenging, but fun.
Yeah, so we just want to grab and store lines like inf1 from 2 to 1. Grabbing this first one here from our example.
Do we want to? Because we already know that the logic of how we get 1, 2, 3 is wrong. Do we mind if we just refactor that behavior, or refactor that implementation to the right one? Because I think I know what the implementation would be, and then we can not have to deal with that breaking the same time we're dealing.
To me, it's yeah, find that line and then honestly look at the last element. Get number of stacks correctly after adding. Yep. That's what we want to do. I'm also kind of, I hope this isn't too small for our viewers. So let's zoom in just a little bit to make sure.
Yeah.
So yeah, so we want to say
I can see it
instructions
pretty
are
well on I'm watching the stream right now. But
deal.
I do think that's a good consideration. Okay, cool. So I don't even think we need to add the line because again, we can just
I do think we need to add the
implementation.
line because of the pop is there, right? I mean, sure, we don't have to, but I think it'd be nice to have a failing test, I guess, is what I'm saying. To
Okay,
kind of
then,
drive.
yeah, then go for it. Yeah.
Because I think it will be as easy as where is there you go. Creates one stack here. Do you care if I actually put like a maybe a second describe
Yeah, go for it. I think it's a good
just
idea.
to kind of
With
input?
instructions.
This is a string, right? I'm not. Yeah. No.
No. It's some kind of thing.
This would be it. Yeah. I think it can totally be a string. Why am I not typing? There we go. It has instructions. So it looks like there's a new line,
Yep.
and then
Yeah, just copy the line. Perfect. Bam.
this will actually fail because again, I think this is going to break. Oh, hey, look at that.
Yeah. And we're not even calling a different method, which is kind of sweet. So yeah.
No tests
Beep
found.
boop boop. Try to use you're passing a string into the describe. Try to just make it a like what the other one was. It
That's a
looked like it was
class
like
name.
a
Yeah, it was the class name though. That's what I'm saying. It's like it's looking. There has to be.
here, I'll look it up. Make it just a
Yeah.
separate test for now and I'll look it up.
Yeah. I'll I might have had an extra end actually. Um, you
Got it.
can
Yeah, I
totally.
think I think you can. Yeah, you totally can do a describe with the string from what I'm looking at. So it was probably the extra end.
Yeah. Inspections. And then leave that there. I think I had the extra end. There we go.
Yep. Sweet. Okay, the test is failing. All right.
Look at that. Yeah, see, because now that we have the empty lines and stuff, we could look at that. We get the 1, 2, 3, and then we get a whole line of empties.
Uh, uh.
Cool. I will let you drive. There you go. Since you said you had the
Yeah.
implementation ideas.
Yeah, the implementation was just look at every line, and as soon as you find one that has the character one,
So the
that's the
interesting thing
line.
is, if you look at one, it's a space and one. Right? There's a space at the beginning of that 1, 2, 3.
Oh, there is. Okay. Well, it's just like we're doing a
This could
input. Is
actually
there
be an
a
interesting
find?
simple regex. I think this could be a simple regex too. To
Do you know
search
the
for
regex?
space one. I could open up Rubular. I'm hoping that space one would be an easy regex to write. This doesn't seem like a complicated thing. I use Rubular again, we talked a little bit briefly about it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm down to do that. I think looking if there's like
A little
a
bit grabbing the whole
begins
line
with
off of that.
method,
Yeah.
because I think you still got to look one line by line. So there's no find. I don't know what
Dot
the find
each.
method is.
Just do a dot each after that split, right? Oh, why are we popping? Oh, we're popping the last line. So what do we want to do that? We want to get rid of the pop in the split.
Yep.
Because
Oh,
the
I think there we go.
that's each.
Yeah, there's okay. Yeah, we'll just do an each line, and then we're just gonna say return
And it's a
line.
cardinal sin in Ruby.
It is. Well, I'm trying to get out of this method basically. If
I know.
it's the is there a filter and we could just filter out of the list that has I'm just gonna make it work and then we'll figure out what's
Yep.
better.
Yep.
So let me I'm even gonna do this the more gross way and actually do one of these and we'll say if line starts begins
I don't think there is a start.
contains. Is there a contains?
There should be a contains.
One. Do I need double quotes? Is that what it's made about?
Yes, you might need double quotes. I can't remember when. Ruby shouldn't care most of the time.
Made about. It has parentheses.
It's okay. Ruby can fix it later. So go ahead and do your.
You
We are
wouldn't do that,
no.
right?
No, there's just an end. Just an end. If end.
Oh, if end. Okay, that's what I thought. Return line. And yeah, Ruby will. Nope, that makes everything
Uh,
fine.
we won't want to return necessarily just one, right? We want to return. We did a return line dot split, right? We did a pop and then we just split a space. We want to return line dot split space, I believe. Double quote space, I believe.
Okay. Yeah. Either way, doesn't work because there is no contains method on the string. So what
Includes? It might have
contains?
an
Yeah,
includes. Oh,
because I don't know. Yeah, see, this is gonna just be easier just looking online.
yes. So
String.
to the
Yeah, look
Google.
on yours. Ruby.
String contains Ruby. Yeah, dot include.
Oh, include question mark. That's why I didn't have the question mark because that's part of the method name. Okay. Yep, I got it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, yep. So line.
I always forget about like the question mark and then there's also bang.
Okay, what are you mad about? Cannot find
Cannot find it.
includes.
And that's fine. Hmm.
For Z string. Did you mean include? Oh, include. Sorry, there's no S.
Okay. So that's better because now we got rid of the three blank things.
And look, actually, it works for all the other. It works for all of them, just not this one.
Yeah. So there's still somewhere that we're. Oh, I bet it's that crate lines on 37 where we're slicing the last one off. The last one now is the instructions. So we need to actually we need to split after the line.
Okay, so we basically want the same knowledge. We need to know. We need to know what index this is.
We need to just know what line it is, right? Yeah, the index of the line. Yeah.
That's what I mean. Sorry, I mean, yeah. What line is it? Yeah. Okay, let's just duplicate it, and then we can, and then we'll make it nice. So index of index equals 0. We'll just override it. This is all gross code, and we'll make it better. And that's okay. And that's why
And
we're
instead of
fine.
return line dot split, we just want to say index equals. Yeah, you have to say each with index then, if you'd like.
Oh, each with index. Oh yeah,
Yep.
I actually kind of like that. That is, I know, bad
Yeah,
with
it's trying to help you
index.
with. Yeah, there you
It
go.
was trying to help me, but I already had it there. Not helping anybody. Index two.
No,
Now the problem is, we don't want this return.
we just want index equals index two, right?
Yeah. I love this. Okay. So now index equals index 2 and then slice index.
I think it's index minus one still. I thought is no. What are we doing wrong here?
Well, actually, I think what it is, I think it's this query because I wrote space 1 and technically we have move 1, space 1's in that, so it's overriding it the second time.
Ooh. Then
Which
you
is
could
fine.
put break at maybe put break and do another cardinal sin and putting break in a for
Oh,
loop.
just
No,
put
on 40, yeah, 41 and a half. No, yeah, and then just break.
oh, break.
What the hell is that semicolon
Oh,
doing
sorry. Okay. Oh, that works. Okay, this is gross. Let's commit. Cardinal sin.
there?
I've written a lot of code that yeah, I really don't love, and I think that's funny, and I think that's actually great, especially because we made it work, and that's the first step, and now we're gonna make it right. So we're gonna say correctly parse what is that called? Number of stacks line.
I'm really glad that we actually had the test too to kind of help drive that because it wasn't as because we would not have got that because we was at that one point where it passed all of the previous tests and not our instruction test, and we would have
Yes,
thought we were good.
Yeah, I think that's a very good point. Um, but okay, I think now we have some sins to make better. Um, I think we refactor this real quick. We have duplication. We have a gross implementation. Um,
We're going to look at these two methods and see what we want to do to refactor.
the gross thing is it's like we're getting the lines and then we're actually asking two questions of it. Hey, what is your content? And then hey, what is your index? Um, and I really don't want to return a tuple or anything. Um, also,
Why would we not just do like we could just find the index and then this can just look up by index if we make the method return
oh,
the
that's
index of the
super
line,
smart. Yep, that is very smart. Yep, love
and
it.
this just returns the index line with
That's a
split.
great way to compose the logic. Yeah, let's do it. So then I think if you extract out 37 through
There, yeah, this is the part of it, isn't it?
well, actually no, we could just return. We don't have to have the variable. So sorry.
Yeah,
But
you're
it might
good.
be weird. We'll figure it out.
Yep.
Index
Find.
of
Okay. Index of stack count
yeah, that's good.
or
C
count
out.
because I yeah see out. I'm
C
in.
out.
I'm
You
in.
are
I'm in
writing
C.
C++. plus plus.
Yeah, don't take me back there. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Yeah,
So you're saying
just return index there and we index
return
2, sorry. I'm a little bit
return
happier with that. And then
all and
yeah,
then
rename 9, that's index.
rename. What the? Oh, because it flipped the whole thing. I hit delete. And I was like, what the hell? So then I think the other thing I want to do is let's go. There we go.
Convert if to yeah, there you go.
That's
That's
this
what I was
index
trying to write
five.
earlier, and I was just like, you know what? Let's leave that as a refactoring step because I'm still not
Yes,
fluent in Ruby.
I'm nowhere near fluent in Ruby either. So, all
So
right.
that's
So
great.
that's our index.
And now can we just inline that in that method? Yeah. Awesome. Awesome.
Tells me I kind of want to just inline this too, right? Like that just
Yep.
we split and we slice and see this to me tells us we're heading in the right Ruby direction is because this is the Ruby I'm used to is like one line little methods.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I think to call it here for yeah, like that I love about what we how we got here. We did a bunch of gross things. Um, I did a bunch of gross things to make it work, and then we were able to just kind of refactor it using the ID primarily, and just oh now they're one line little methods. And I think that's why it is okay to write the terrible code and then immediately refactor right after. I love that's what I love about TDD. Um, but okay, so now
I
we
think we
can do
commit
what you were
this.
saying, and yeah, that sounds
And
good.
actually, I'm going to do a time check on you because I know you had limited time today. How are you feeling? Because
I
it's
guess we'll do another 5 minutes or so. I think
okay.
let's finish this refactor
Um,
and again do our favorite end on a failing test, a skipped failing test, and then we can go from
check
there.
method for finding
Index of
index
stack
of
count line.
yeah. All right. I'll let you do the refactor if you think you want.
Yeah, yeah. So we're saying here, this is really just
I think it's the index input dot split dot new line.
and then index of stack count.
I think we did something
Nope.
else. Go back. No, go. What
Oh,
was it again? 'Cause I thought we did a split at the end too, right? Yeah. So we did a split there. So I think you wanted. I think you were right. You want to do index there, and then you want to do a dot split again of empty space. Yeah.
that looks really good.
And then I'm also noticing if you notice, like, look at 28, 32, and 36, index dot split slash new line. I'm wondering if we should just move that split into the input. We've never done anything without that.
Let's
Like
validate
in
that
our
real quick.
constructor,
I
we
think you're
save
right.
in. Yeah, all we do is save inputs. Why would we not just say dot split there?
So why don't we just say lines?
Oh, and you, is equal to in dot split.
Yeah, I know I didn't automate this, but and I keep doing semicolons. What is wrong with me? What do we think about that? Is lines
So,
a decent word? Because then it's very explicit that hey, this
yes.
means
Yeah.
okay, and now we can just go through here and just actually I could just do a search and replace. Um and we can just say at input dot split with
Change
just
it to
at
at line.
lines. That looks a lot better.
And so input is no longer used at all, right? Like that's the
Yep. So now we can
except for
actually delete that. Looks pretty good. Is any other things that were kind of I think this just got carried along for the ride quite a bit. Yeah, that's for a specific line, so I don't think that actually means anything.
yeah, very sweet.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
it's pretty
no,
good.
I think it's a commit.
I want to move this up real quick because I feel
Oh
like this should
man,
go
you're gonna
next
break
to.
you're gonna break your newspaper style.
Well, no, it's used. Yes, I am, but it's more cohesive to line of number of stacks. So it's cohesive to this line. That's kind of why I wanted to here. But yes, I am breaking newspaper style, I suppose. Because it's basically using the line above to get the length.
Can we just pause for a second and admire the runtime? Like that 0.0035 seconds.
Who knew C interpreted languages were fast?
Yeah.
Uh,
Just for awareness, when the current project run, right, we have 4,200 unit tests and they run in 40 seconds. So quite different scale because we're at eight. We're at eight tests here, but it's nice not
I'd
having
even
to.
say one JavaScript test still is not 0 milliseconds. It's a lot longer than that.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, cool. So this one is extract lines. Um, is it what is it called in Ruby? It's not a field. Is it a property?
It's a field. It's
It
a
is a
class field. Yeah.
to remove duplication. Look at that. We deleted 4 lines of duplication. That's pretty good. Okay, and then yeah, I was thinking I'd be good to do one more failing test, or write the next
So
test we want, and then next time we can just pick up there.
I think we could just expect supply dot
Something.
rearrangements if we want to that we can start with instructions if we don't want to do that. How does this how does this feel like? And
I
honestly, I
like
would be
this.
okay with just like let's start simple. Like we don't have to do a breakdown or anything of what kind of data structure or how we want to store it, but like
Yeah,
instructions isn't going to exist, and I think this could be
and
the
honestly,
failing
how we
test.
store it too is yeah, I feel like that might not even be the next step because like how we decide what the data structure looks like is basically going to be dependent upon trying to use it. So I actually like what you did. No, I think that's good. And then we can
And maybe an
instead,
array of them, so that way we can
yeah,
have
yeah,
multiple.
yeah, that's good. Yeah, yeah. Because then you have, I mean, that definitely makes sense. We'll have to have, we have an ordered list of instructions, ordered list
Yeah.
array done. Um, okay, I think we skip this.
Is it worth duplicating so that this is still
Yes,
tested?
I was gonna say the same thing. Yeah, which means
So
let's just get rid of the. Oh yeah, yeah, we could do that. Yeah.
I think that means we have to. I think it says uh, let's apply. I think. All right, got too fancy. Got too fancy. I'll have to look that up. Got
I
too
think
fancy.
it's what is context? Is that I
We'll figure it
use an
out
at sign.
for next time.
So yeah, we can figure it out for next time.
An @ sign probably works. Yeah, an @ sign probably does work.
But yeah, we
So
just
this just says returns instruction.
and then just delete 88. Perfect. And now we can
And
just skip this one test.
X7.
Awesome.
And I am gonna try this one more time.
Yeah. That is what you're supposed to do, and you can do it in a before do end. That line can go in there basically.
Oh, this goes away. Nice.
So, well, it's failing not with the skip. So add a before on 79 and
Oh, what is failing? Oh yeah.
yeah. So add a before. I think it's there. You go. Get rid of the parentheses and before. You don't need them. There you go. That's how you do it.
And then I don't think I want that indented that far. It means hopefully
Yeah.
this. Oh, workspaces. and and go away. Hey, look at that. See, now we're also maturing in our Ruby.
Yeah.
Why is that? Why are these over indented? I'm starting to miss prettier. Need to have a
I
Ruby
mean,
format.
you could try. Is it Command Option L for
Aha! Look at that. It did it. Fix
yeah.
some input.
You could probably why don't you change your on save real quick to just format on save? It's just us, so I think that's kind of what we want anyway. Let's change that real quick.
Ruby mines. Not check for
Settings.
updates.
And then just on save.
Action
Reformat
done.
code. There we go. Optimize imports. Let's do that too. Why not?
A prettier package not specified.
That's funny.
I haven't never messed with prettier on Ruby if there is such a thing. All right. So
I
let's
don't.
get at that. Check dash M. Failing test for parsing instructions. All right. Hey, that was fun. That felt productive today. Felt like we're trying to get some handle on things.
Yeah, what I like about what we did was like last week. I think a lot of it was us again learning how to Ruby things. This week I feel like some of the shortcuts we took, we actually improved and made them a lot better. Even though we're doing some weird stuff like index counts, I feel like it's a lot more solid. And again, we were able to just add pinning tests that all just worked, which feels pretty good. So I'm glad we got past what I think was the harder part of the problem. At least reading structured input. Who knew that was hard?
I would almost say it's unstructured. It's like half structured, right? Because when we think of structure, we think of classes and JSON and things that actually have a defined structure that is easily parsable by the whole world.
It's actually funny we're building this in an interpreted language, which is, if you've never built an interpreter before, one, highly recommend because you're just reading strings and, introducing a lot of concepts like stacks and fun things. And I think you learn a lot doing that. But yeah, you realize that parsing input is maybe one of the harder things you have to do. But cool. See you next time.
All right. See you guys next time.